America. I can say whatever I want.
You can say what you want, absolutely, but you do not have to discredit me or put me down in any way.
Over the years, several Storage Wars cast members have passed away, shocking viewers who grew attached to them. While the show thrived on big personalities, jaw-dropping finds, and interesting scenes, tragedy was unfolding to some of the casts behind the camera. What really happened to these familiar stars whose spotlights are now faded? And which death will shock you the most? Join us as we reveal the Storage Wars cast members who passed away and the stories that were never told on screen. Gunter Nezhoda. Gunter Nezhoda, who debuted during the show's 4th season, stood out as a competitive bidder with an easygoing personality. His son Rene recalled that his father was one of the guys on Storage Wars who never really got any hate. People just loved being around him. Off-camera, Gunter led an active life. He worked as a photographer, played bass with well-known rock musicians, and even appeared in a few films. However, his active life was disrupted in late 2022 after he received a heartbreaking diagnosis. His son, in a video, shared that Gunter had smoked for 30 years, and doctors found holes in his lungs, making treatment difficult. Despite the diagnosis, he stayed at home with family, hoping for more time. He continued his daily activities, although without any hectic job. Sadly, the cancer worsened, and in March 2023, he passed away in his sleep peacefully. While fans continue to honor Gunter's memory, another cast member who remains in their hearts, Ballelo. As one of the most talked-about figures on Storage Wars, Ballelo was very popular. He was always seen by the viewers pulling up to auctions in flashy sports cars, dressed in expensive suits, and bidding with high intensity that made every storage locker feel like a big deal. On television, Mark appeared more confident than usual. However, behind the scenes, Mark was dealing with personal battles that led to tragedy, and eventually, his death. Before Storage Wars began, Mark was a victim of different trouble. In 2007, he was arrested on 3 felony charges, later pleading guilty to 1 and serving 60 days in 2009. In 2011, he spent another 45 days for violating probation. Then in February 2013, Mark was arrested for another charge, once again for possession of hard drugs. After he was released, he met with his ex-fiancée, Elizabeth Matidis, telling her how much the arrest had affected him drastically. He claimed that he could no longer function efficiently as he did in his early days. On the 12th of February 2013, only 2 days after his last arrest, Mark, at 40 years old, was found dead in his car, which was parked at his Simi Valley, California, auction house. It was said that he died due to carbon monoxide poisoning in an apparent suicide. The news came as a shock to many of his fans, and his death became one of the saddest moments connected to Storage Wars. Another one of the cast lived a happy life but met with his own tragedy. Who was it? Maurice Mo Prigo. Mo became one of the most recognizable faces on Storage Wars after joining the show when it first aired in 2011. He quickly won over viewers, not just as an ordinary bidder, but as an experienced businessman. Mo owned an antique shop called River Regency Modern, where he sold many of the items he discovered in storage lockers. He did not go after earning profit alone, unlike other bidders, but he had a special attachment to his art and the history behind each piece he created. Outside of television, he lived a very different professional life. For more than 40 years, he worked as a podiatrist, caring for patients in Dallas. Collecting antiques was a lifelong passion, and Storage Wars gave him the opportunity to share that love with a wider audience. In his later years, Mo struggled with health issues. His family later confirmed that he had been battling a long illness prior to his passing. On March 4, 2021, Mo died at the age of 78. Having lived a life full of legacy both on and off the screen, Morris was a passionate man. Which other popular personality is on this list, and what happened to him? Barry Weiss. Barry Weiss became one of the most popular faces on Storage Wars shortly after his debut. Fans loved his humor, his taste for the unusual, and the way he treated auctions more like adventures than business. His personality stood out so much that in 2014, he was given his own spin-off series, Buried Treasure, where he traveled the country chasing rare finds. Before his television fame, Barry built his wealth in the produce business, running a successful wholesale company for many years. This financial independence allowed him to approach storage auctions differently. His partnership with Kenny Crossley added to his appeal, with the duo delivering many of the most memorable and humorous moments in the series. After years on television, Barry took a back seat from the show. However, in 2019, he experienced a tragic incident that almost claimed his life. That year, Barry and his friend Jaime went for a ride in the neighborhood. As they traveled down the road, a car pulled out of a parking space, and the two men collided with it. According to the Instagram post shared by his friend, Barry suffered serious chest trauma, severe leg injuries, and multiple fractures. Emergency responders rushed him to the hospital where he was placed in the ICU. His recovery was slow, but Barry pushed through. After his recovery in 2017, he left Storage Wars because he felt had enough and kind of wanted to leave while it was still popular. However, in 2021, he returned to Storage Wars, welcomed by both the cast and the viewers who had missed his presence. Barry's legacy on the television remained one of the most iconic moments in the mind of the audiences. Another man has a moment as such on the screen. Let's find out who. Dave Hester. Dave Hester, known as one of the most controversial bidders on Storage Wars, is the man behind the catchphrase, "Yoop." Known for his aggressive bidding style and sharp eye for valuable items, he often clashed with other buyers, creating some of the most dramatic moments on the show. He was nicknamed the Mogul, and he was one of the most popular cast on the show. However, in 2018, Dave faced a major setback that affected him so badly. He suffered a hemorrhagic stroke, and the health scare was life-threatening that he woke up struggling to breathe. This forced him to step away from the auction scene while he recovered. Fans who had watched him dominate the bidding floor were shocked by the news. His recovery process was long, and he had to work hard and undergo several stages of treatment to regain strength. As of 2025, Dave Hester has kept a lower profile. He still takes part in auctions, but no longer seeks the spotlight the way he once did. While the story of familiar and popular faces goes on, the story does not end there. Another key figure lived a life with unexpected twists. Daryl Sheets. Daryl Sheets, widely known as the Gambler, became one of the fans' favorites on the show with his fearless approach to high-stakes lockers. He built a reputation as someone who never shied away from risk. His confidence and experience in the auction world earned him both wins and heated rivalries, making him an OG on the show. However, Daryl's life was not without challenges. In 2019, tragedy struck when Daryl suffered a heart attack. The health scare forced him into surgery, and he later shared with fans that doctors had placed stances in his arteries. In recent years, Daryl Sheets has stepped back from the show but remains involved in auctions on a smaller scale. He spends more time focusing on his health and family, while fans continue to remember him as the gambler who made history on Storage Wars. His biggest moment still remains the time he uncovered a storage locker filled with artwork by Frank Gutierrez, valued at $300,000. It was one of the most famous finds in Storage Wars history, and cemented his place as a true gambler willing to take chances others avoided. Daryl's resilient story right from time was one that shaped the series. Yet more highs and lows in the life of the casts went on behind the auction floor. Dan Dodson. Dan Dodson was one of the most recognizable actors in Storage Wars. He has been one of the driving forces behind Storage Wars since the very beginning. As the show's fast-talking auctioneer, his voice was a major driver of the show. Known for his quick rhythm, Dan brought real-life energy to every auction, setting the pace for the intense bidding battles that made the show so exciting to watch. Before television, Dan had spent decades in the auction business. However, off-screen, Dan has faced his share of challenges, and although he began auctioneering at a young age and later built his company, American Auctioneers, which he still runs with his wife, he experienced a tragic incident. In 2014, he suffered a double brain aneurysm that nearly cost him his life. After a tough recovery, he returned to work with the same drive and determination that made him a fan favorite. As of 2025, Dan continues to auction across the country, respected as one of the most skilled professionals in his field. Together, he and his wife turned their passion for auctions into a full-time career and became a trusted name in the business. Daryl's professional lifestyle was one that earned him a place even after he experienced a tragic incident. Who is next among the casts? Jared Schultz. Jared Schultz, commonly referred to as the reality star in Storage Wars, first appeared on the show alongside his partner, Brandy Passante. Together, they were known as the Young Guns, a duo that brought a different energy to the bidding floor. However, in 2019, tragedy struck when he and Brandy ended their long relationship. The separation was difficult for fans to watch, as their bond had been such a key part of the show. Then, in 2021, Jared was arrested after an alleged incident involving Brandy. The news cast a shadow over his image, and it marked one of the lowest points of his time connected to the series. Legal proceedings put both their personal and professional relationship under strain, drawing public attention to the difficulties of managing business, romance, and the pressures of reality television simultaneously. Despite these troubles, Jared remains tied to the storage business. He continues to run his bar and restaurant, choosing a quieter life compared to his early days on Storage Wars. Another personality on this show had an unpleasant experience behind the cameras. Let's find out who. Mary Padian. Mary Padian, affectionately known by fans as the Junkster, first made her mark on Storage Wars Texas before later joining the main Storage Wars series in California. Her creative talent for transforming forgotten and discarded items into beautiful, valuable pieces quickly set her apart, earning her a strong following among viewers. Despite her energetic and healthy appearance, Mary experienced her own challenges during her time on the show. The competitive auction scene, filled with seasoned and aggressive buyers, was far from easy to navigate. She often found herself under pressure and underestimated, especially in an environment where experience and confidence played a major role in winning lockers. Even so, Mary consistently proved her abilities. Time and again, she uncovered hidden treasures inside abandoned storage units and successfully turned them into profitable finds. Her eye for potential and passion for restoration helped her stand her ground and build respect among both fans and fellow bidders. However, Mary Padian is no longer a regular presence on Storage Wars. She has remained committed to her business, Mary's Finds, which continues to reflect her love for antiques and creative restoration. She also stays connected with her audience through social media, where she regularly shares her latest projects, discoveries, and ongoing passion for breathing new life into old items. What is the story of the next cast of Storage Wars on this list? Emily Wares. Emily Wares made her entrance on Storage Wars as one of the youngest auctioneers ever featured on the series. Her strong confidence and professionalism quickly earned admiration from both viewers and fellow cast members. Raised in a family of auctioneers, Emily was introduced to the trade early in life and steadily built her career through dedication and persistence. Long before appearing on television, she was already running her own auction company. She also competed in professional auctioneering contests, where she frequently ranked among the top performers. This background prepared her well for the high-pressure environment of storage wars. On the show, Emily's delivery and steady command of the auction floor brought a fresh and energetic presence to each sale. Her ability to maintain control while keeping the pace lively helped set her apart and added a new dynamic to the series. After the show, although Emily was still young, she continues to work full-time as a professional auctioneer. In addition to her regular work, she is also active in charity events, where her enthusiasm and skill consistently attract and engage audiences. With passion and purpose, Emily lived a good life. What is the story of Kenny Crossley, the next cast on this list, and what made him stand out? Kenny Crossley. Kenny Crossley added humor and energy to Storage Wars, quickly becoming one of the show's most entertaining bidders. His upbeat personality and cheerful presence made him earn more popularity than some of the casts. Long before appearing on television, Kenny worked as a storage facility manager, an experience that gave him valuable insight into how auctions operate behind the scenes. That background helped build his confidence, especially when it came to making quick and strategic bids. Kenny was first introduced on the show alongside Barry Weiss, and their partnership produced some of the most memorable and funniest moments from the early seasons. The chemistry between the two quickly became a highlight for viewers. Eventually, Kenny stepped out on his own as a solo bidder, showing that he could hold his own against the toughest competitors on the series. His transition proved that his success was not just about personality, but also about knowledge and experience. Kenny remains active in the auction world while also running his clothing brand, Kenny Do It Apparel. He continues to engage with fans through social media, where his lively updates and humor still keep audiences entertained. Behind every personality lies a story. What is the auction story, and what happened to the next person? Renee and Casey Nezhoda. Renee Nezhoda joined Storage Wars during its 4th season and quickly became one of the show's most memorable buyers. With his confident bidding style, he stood out from the moment he arrived. Fans came to know him for his deep knowledge of antiques and collectibles, which he often used to spot hidden treasures that others missed. Renee grew up around second-hand goods, learning the trade from his father. That early experience gave him the skills that would later make him a strong competitor on the show. Alongside his wife, Casey, he runs Bargain Hunter's thrift store in California, where they sell the items they win at auctions. On the other hand, Casey Nezhoda became a familiar face on Storage Wars when she joined the show alongside her husband, Renee. Together, they brought a mix of teamwork and strong business sense that fans enjoyed watching. Casey's sharp instincts balanced Renee's bidding style, making them one of the most successful pairs on the show. Before television, Casey had already been involved in the family's resale business, and while she was on the show, her friendly nature and quick decision-making often helped turn risky purchases into solid profits. After the show ended, Casey continues to work with Renee, and the two still attend storage auctions together. The cameras only captures the wins, but the life story tells the failures. Where does the failure of the Ivy Calvin lies? Ivy Calvin. Ivy Calvin, famously known to fans as the King of Palmdale, quickly became one of the most formidable buyers on Storage Wars. His no-nonsense attitude and commanding presence made him a standout in every auction he attended. Viewers admired his confidence and the way he approached each locker with a clear sense of purpose. Before his television career, Ivy ran his own thrift store, Grandma's Attic, where he showcased and sold many of the treasures he discovered in storage units. This background gave him valuable experience in spotting items with potential and understanding their resale value. Coupled with his bold bidding style, it helped Ivy earn a reputation as a tough competitor who rarely hesitated when he saw something worth pursuing. Although Ivy had a lot of competitors, he knew exactly what he wanted and rarely backed down, even when facing other aggressive bidders. In addition to this professional challenges, Ivy faced personal ones as well. Over the years, he battled health issues that sometimes slowed him down, but he continued to push forward, showing resilience and dedication to both his store and the auction business. On the auction floor, Ivy's direct approach often led to impressive wins, and his strategic eye and confidence set him apart, earning respect from fellow cast members and fans alike. What do you think about the tragedy that some of the casts encountered? Who do you feel for, and whose life story shocked you the most? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more. Also, click the next video showing on your screen. You will enjoy it.